Welcome to the Monday, September 20th NCH City Council meeting. As always, we will start with the NCH City Council prayer. Please rise. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen. Call this meeting to order. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Before you do the roll call, Ms. DeWald, Mr. Miller Novak did contact me tonight and say he will not be with us. So please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Here.
Ms. Blythe? Here. Ms. Underwood?
Here.
Ms. Zorb?
Here.
Ms. Hartman?
Here.
Ms. Anderson?
Here.
6 members present.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll move to excuse Mr. Miller Novak.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Zorb to excuse Mr. Miller Novak for this evening. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to excuse passes 6-0.
Thank you. You should have the council meeting minutes from 9/7/2021. I did notice on the final vote for adjournment that it says it passed 4-0, and that should say 7-0.
All righty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I went ahead of, yes, we're on the agenda. I skipped
Okay,
ahead.
cool.
Ms. Zorb called me out. I left the agenda and went straight to the minutes, and that's my confusion. Thank you.
Well, we'll end up
Let's
there.
stick to the agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson to adopt tonight's agenda. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to adopt passes 6-0.
Thank you. All right. Now that we've done the agenda, now please review the meeting minutes from 9/7/2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
it would be my opinion that count of the adjournment is merely a typo,
Yes, ma'am.
and I would then like to motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson to accept tonight's minutes. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to adopt the minutes passes 6-0.
Thank you. Ms. DeWald, any communications?
I have the city and villages. That's all we have for the month of July, August.
right, thank you. That brings us to council committees. First up, City Community Development and Recreation.
All right, that is me. Thank you, Mr. President. Unfortunately, I had to cancel our last meeting, which was last week, September the 13th. I've just been a little busy at my big girl job, so I am going to really try to do the next month's one. I really promise I'll put that effort in there. Our next month's meeting, though, is October 11th at 6:30 p.m. The only real big updates that we had that I forgot to mention last time is that we do have a recommendation from the committee for a recreation director that we kind of came up with based on administration's recommendations. And kind of our next step is to pass it to budget, so that way they can talk about how we're going to fit that in the budget and how much they're going to get paid and all that jazz. So I am going to send Mr. Miller Novak, who is the chair of that committee, an email and let him know that we're passing the torch to him. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Next up, Budget and Finance.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
Mr. Miller Novak is the chair of that committee, and I believe that he canceled our last meeting. The next meeting will be on the
October
same
11th.
day,
October 11th,
October 11th
7:30.
at 7:30.
Thank you. Rules and Public Policy.
Mr. President, we have not had a meeting since our July meeting, and our next meeting is in October. I'm sorry, September 27th, I believe. I need to take a deep breath. It's okay.
All right, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next public safety meeting will be on September 27th. We did not have a meeting in August.
Okay, thank you. Next up is ad hoc reports. Any ad hoc reports tonight?
Yes, Mr. President.
Ms.
I was at the
Blythe?
September 16th CIC meeting, and I just have a few notes. I think this is from Ron. He mentioned that SORTA is investing in this area, and also the old Hollywood video location is going to turn into a Dollar Tree. And they also mentioned, if I get this right, on Galbraith Road, to the right of the restaurant, I wrote it down, sorry, Pluto's. And there's a tailor there. There's a building to the right of those two businesses, and it's a very large hall. It could be a meeting hall. And they suggested that maybe we have a CIC meeting in that building. So it's Pluto's, then the old Taylor location, and then the building. I didn't write.
Life Issues Institute.
Yeah, I didn't write down the number. And then they mentioned that the Meet in the Street event was postponed. And also at the meeting, they were thinking about generating T-shirts for CIC with the logo to make the group stand out and let more residents and citizens know what CIC is about. Let me see. Okay, they also mentioned getting a link to the CIC committee meeting on the North College Hill website. And I'm sorry, the gentleman that leads CIC, he says it would cost approximately about $12,000 to redo a website.
He was saying that in general, on average.
Yeah,
if you
mhm.
Put together a fairly simple website, nothing too complex. He's saying within today's dollars, it's about
Yeah, yeah. And then they mentioned, the only thing I missed on this was, October 12th is the candidates' night, and there's a 6:30 meet and greet, but I didn't see where the location was. That's the one thing I missed.
It'll be at the senior center.
Senior Center. October 12th is meet the candidates' night. And then same day, right, 6:30, meet and greet with Chief Fells will follow.
Right, he will make as part of that, he'll make a presentation regarding the fire levy.
And then that's the notes I took from the CIC meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blythe.
Uh-huh.
Any other ad hoc reports? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to administrative reports. Good evening, Madam Mayor. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I could piggyback, one of the things that I wanted to discuss tonight too is when Ms. Blythe mentioned the website. We've gotten several complaints about the website, some being that it's difficult to navigate through. You can't find things. Some things, for myself, I find are embedded. So I would ask the council would consider, this is where the conversation stemmed from at the CIC meeting. And Mr. Cook was explaining or telling us what it costs for his church to redo theirs. That was just one of the numbers that he threw out. So I'm asking that council would consider, I know a few years back, they did look at our website, but it really does need to be more user-friendly. So if you would consider maybe instructing or having administration giving us the opportunity to look into other things, just so we can rebuild our website. I think it is important for citizens and for us. I know sometimes I have a difficult time finding certain things on our website. There are a couple dates that I'm sure some of you already know about. The Touch a Truck, which is on October 3rd from 5 to 7. Then we're still working and collaborating with the school district for Trunk or Treat, which will be 1 to 4 on October 30th. And one of the last things is that the city did receive Recovery Act's money of $486,000. We did, myself and Mr. Mosby did meet with the other department heads, actually the police chief and the fire chief, just to get some ideas of some of the things that might be beneficial for them. We do know that we need council's direction on how this money should be spent. So we want to make sure that we include whomever or whatever needs are necessary. And that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you. Oh, one other thing. We did discuss with the school district. They use Shaper Park for their playground. And we came into it's a reality that we do need to mulch our parks. Ms. Dukes-Dean was at our meeting, the UPC meeting, and she volunteered to look into what mulch costs in order to mulch all of our parks. It's roughly $5,000. Ms. Underwood, I can't recall if you were at that meeting, but she was aware of it as well. So we need, if council would consider, so we can go ahead and get the mulch for our parks so that our parks can be up to par for our kids. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
I had a question for the mayor and Mr. Millsy. What was the date that we set to have the new playground equipment in on Simpson, where the splash pad is going to be? Did we have it? Are we going to get that done before October or November?
Well, it's not certain.
Oh.
We have entered into a contract, and so we already have a contractor. But like everything else, unfortunately, there is a backlog with supplies.
No.
And so that's one of the reasons that they haven't even taken out the old equipment. It's because they haven't received the new equipment yet.
Okay.
When I last talked to our consultant, they were looking at probably the end of October before they would receive the new playground equipment.
Oh, okay.
And at that point, then they would start to remove the old equipment.
Okay, good. Okay, I was just wondering. I drive by there every day to work, so I was just wondering. Okay.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I just have a question for the mayor. I know that you guys are looking to get a new website, but are there any efforts right now to kind of fix up the one we have in the meantime?
That could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, just because I know how slow, I mean, government works in general, and I don't want to,
So,
push the can further down the road if we can fix up at least some of it now in the meantime.
yeah, we can look into what can be done now. I'm not sure, Mr. Mosby, was it 18, 19, when they looked at, the same company looked it over? Do you recall?
So we're working with Civics Plus right now.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked to them. I'd also put a few feelers out for other companies. When you say there are certain things you could do to work within the existing structure, of course, that they have. But I do agree with the mayor that it's not that the company that we're working with is not a good company, but it is cumbersome.
No, I agree. I think that,
Right.
I agree. But I just think, in the meantime, we might as well put some effort into cleaning it up
Well,
a little bit.
there might be some things that we can do to tweak it, but I think that, even Mayor Nichols had pointed out that there are just some things where, it takes you down, not so much a back door, but it takes you in, like you hit an icon and then it goes into a different page. And they don't converge, like in some cases,
yeah.
they diverge.
Oh, yeah.
So it certainly isn't, I agree, it's not easy. But as she said, the whole point is, if we want to do that, the money has to be in the budget for us to do it. And right now, the only money that we have in the budget is to pay, the annual fee for the current website, and that's pretty much about it.
Right. Okay.
Mr. President,
Ms. Orb?
I have a couple questions. I was wondering, Ms. Nichols, is there any chance that we could use the gentleman that, I seem to think it was like an intern or something that we used, a student from the high
Help set up
school?
a comprehensive plan.
Nope.
Are
Who
you talking
did our
about-
website the last time, just
Yeah,
2
but
years ago.
He had some ideas. Are you talking about Zavante Chichester?
Yes.
Zavante he was in Iowa, I believe Iowa. Now he's down at Tennessee, so he's not local anymore.
He could do it remotely.
Yeah, he's.
It is the web after all.
Yeah, and he does track, so I don't know, and almost year round. I mean, we could ask him if we can get in touch with him, but I sort of follow him on social media. He's really busy. So.
All right. The other thing, I was curious, if the school is using Shaper Park, are they going to chip in on any of this mulch?
That was part of the conversation as well. And we are in the process of reviewing the land swap agreement. I think some things in that agreement does not make them liable to do anything to the park.
I was unaware that Shaper Park was in a land swap.
Not the building, the ground. They could use the park. That's what we're saying. And I think part of the agreement was that we still maintain the park and they could use it.
City gets a raw deal every
And I think
time.
even with their insurance and everything, I don't think that they can do anything, from what I understand.
Okay.
So that was, has it been 10 years yet? Yeah, 11. So, and that was a 20, 30-year agreement. Yeah,
When this building was in it?
when they swapped.
I thought that was only a 10-year, because I thought we were out of it.
No, I believe at least 20.
Because if we sold this building after 10 years, we had to give them money back. And that was 10 years, and that's up.
We sold the building before 10 years.
I'm thinking 20. But I can't review it again. As I said, we're in the process, and then I know we have to schedule a meeting. I'm going to schedule a meeting with Mr. Blaylock in order to go over the details of it. So,
Ready?
All right.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
Mayor Nichols, even if we are in a landscape with it and that, I mean, potentially we want to rent it to them. We want to make it lucrative.
For
Is that
us.
on the table?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
at the last UPC meeting, I had brought up that, and a representative from the school made it very clear that they were not interested in raising the price at all. I had suggested if we had raised the rent basically for them, so that way they could legally help us pay for the mulch and pay for the equipment, and they made it very clear that they were not interested in that. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll look different coming from you, and, you know, maybe it's just you talk to, but from what I understand, they're not interested in helping.
Well, Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein? Ms.
They-
Dukestein?
they can't.
Right,
They-
but if we raise the price on them.
They can't. As long as they don't own it, they can't put their assets towards it.
Right, but what I'm saying is if they're renting it from us, and we as the landlords of the property were to raise the rent, then we could use that money that we're using for them to pay rent, to then pay for the mulch. Which I'm not saying that that's what, you know, we need to do, but when a suggestion like that was raised, it was turned down pretty fast.
Okay, next up is the city administrator report. Mr. Mosby?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I guess I'd like to begin by saying I guess it's really kind of a bittersweet moment, but I know that this is Councilmember Hartman's last meeting with us, because as of midnight tonight, you resigned. But I do want to say thank you for your service, and I also want to thank you because you've been very supportive of what we've been trying to do. I was reflecting on it as today, even before today, and I thought about the things that have been accomplished. Like I said, the Galbraith-Goodman Road looks much better. We have been able to improve traffic on Hamilton Avenue due to signals and all of that spending that has been done. You've been part of that, and so I think I would be remiss if I didn't say that even though you're leaving the city in a better position. So we thank you for that, and certainly wish you the best of luck as well. So I did want to say that. A couple of, I guess I'll start with at least some good news. Try at least. So recently we learned that SORTA has recommended that we receive $552,000 in funding for Hamilton Avenue. So of course, for us, that's big because it basically covers the amount of what I would consider or call out-of-pocket expense that was required of us in order for the Hamilton Avenue project to move forward. So the vote for that, the final vote is tomorrow, but that is huge for us, and so that means that allows us to have those dollars for other infrastructure projects. So. Correct. Correct. So now Prospect Place can be done, and we have capital money to do it. So, that is some good news, at least for us. Tonight on the agenda, there are a couple of things that I did want to point out before you vote. There is, of course, as the mayor said, the $486,000 that we received as a part of the recovery funds. I would just like to point out to council that what you're voting on tonight, or at least what is being considered before you, is only accepting the money, accepting the funds. No appropriations have been made. So what you're simply doing is we'd be revising our amount of expected revenues for 2021. But that is something that we have to do by law, and we have to send back to the county for that adjustment. So I would hope and ask that council would just consider passing that tonight, suspending the rules and just getting it passed so that the money can be received and I can send that back to Hamilton County. Well, that was, of course, one. The other one is the, which one was it? I believe it was the,
27?
yes, 27. Thank you very much. I kind of lost my place there. So 27, of course, is the other formal amount, formally accepting the amounts and rates for the 2022 budget. And so that, of course, has to be done as well. And then the same thing, once that's passed, then I have to return that one back to the county. That needs to be, I think the absolute due date for that one is the 20th of October. But since you all had already approved it before we sent it to county, I don't see any reason why there would need to be any additional discussion for that. So those two items I did want to make sure that that people were aware of. I did appreciate what Ms. Blythe was saying about CIC. I would just like to, I'd like to take a moment to express gratitude to CIC as well as the Chamber, because both organizations have really been taking, really getting involved and taking a much more assertive approach toward things. I received a letter from the widow of former council member Jerry Shaper, whom Shaper Park is named after. And of course, she was very grieved that, unfortunately, vandals have been literally vandalizing the site, taking off the signs. I don't know why people would do that. And it hurts. However, the chamber has said, yes, they would go ahead and fund the replacement for that sign. So they are going to be working with our Public Works to order a more durable sign that we will be able to place in there and hopefully will not be as easily destroyed. And then, of course, as I was mentioning the CIC, and as Ms. Blythe mentioned, the CIC, although we did not, we weren't able to throw the little kind of outdoor party. But I think that it had sparked some interest, and I know that they definitely do want to be more involved in a lot of our events. So they have also talked about being at the events like the Touch a Truck, Trunk or Treat. I think they're going to be at those events as well. So I appreciate the collaboration. The president of the chamber is also part of the CIC, so he's able to take a lot of that information back. Finally, I think the other good news that I wanted to share with you is, of course, as Ms. Blythe said, there is Dollar Tree is taking over the old, what we call the old Hollywood video building. So they will be moving in there. It's looking like it would be toward the end of October, around the beginning of November. But at least they've done a couple of things. You probably noticed that they have put a new blacktop over the parking lot, so the parking lot looks better. I've talked to the contractor, and they're going to definitely be doing work on the exterior of the property, so that will also look better. And then we've had a couple of new businesses that have come into the city, so I did also want to note that, and one of them is the there's a basically it's a charter school that has come in across the street from Dollar Tree. That owner, by the way, is the same owner of The Flock, which you all know, formerly known as Game Time, but he also owns the old Racket Club building. So he's, and he wants to get involved. And then as well, we also have a new barber shop that has come into the city. It's over in the little shopping center where Penn Station, thank you very much, is. So they're down at the corner. So it's good to see that we do have businesses that are coming in, and I'm hoping that that will also help to spur other businesses. We are starting to get definitely some traction with the EV charging stations as well. So people are beginning to notice that. In fact, I was just out last week, and I saw a car, a light blue Leaf, that was at the charging station. Of course, I was excited about it. So I walked up to the person. I'm sure she thought I was crazy because I'm coming up telling her I'm excited that she's using an EV charging station. But it turns out she's a resident of North College Hill. It was not her car. She was borrowing the car. But she needed a place to charge up, put it in her app, and it popped up right here. So I believe that our charging stations can become the hub of economic development around here. And I also want to put this bug in your ear as well to conclude. And I want to throw this term out to you, social connectivity. Because I really believe that as things are slowly coming into place, that social connectivity can be the theme for our city. Meaning that this can be the place not just to socialize, but transportation, right? Which would be both looking forward to a transit center as well as the EV charging station, internet capability as well, having entertainment in our region, ways for people to be able to connect with one another. So I just wanted to put that bug in your ear and just keep that theme in mind, social connectivity. So with that, Mr. President, I'm concluding with my report for tonight.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
2 things. That social connectivity is great. I think that goes perfect with the center of it all. I mean, NCH literally is the center of everything in greater Cincinnati, so I think that's perfect. But were you going to talk at all to the 513 relief bus?
Was I going to speak about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty important. I think it's important that administration would mention something about that and the, wonderful things that they're going to bring to our community in 8 days.
Well, I did mention the touch-a-truck, but I guess I didn't go into a lot of detail about it, but it is coming up on October the 3rd. And that will be it's a Sunday, and it is from 5 to 7.
On the Facebook page right here, it says that the 513 relief bus is coming on Tuesday, September 28th, from 4 to 6.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wrong.
So the bus is not, the bus isn't with Touch-a-Truck.
Okay. You might be able to explain it better than me.
Yeah, I know that Mimi Anderson has worked really hard on this, and I think it's really important that this gets mentioned. It's no cost at all to any of the residents in North College Hill. They can offer applications for cash, food, Medicare, rent and utility assistance, workforce development, child support and child care, and small business and landlord support. And I know that applies to, just about everybody in North College Hill in one of those categories. But yes, it is September 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. Everybody's welcome. You don't have to bring anything. It costs no money to anybody. But it is a support bus sponsored by and brought to you by Hamilton County Equity and Resources. So they travel to different low-income areas that need the support. All the areas have to do is reach out and let them know that they want them. And I know that Mimi Anderson put in the effort to get that here. And so I think that could be really great for our citizens. So if anybody out there needs any assistance whatsoever, September 28th, 8 days.
Where?
Mr. President, I just have one question. Can someone refresh me on what is Touch-a-Truck? I totally forgot.
Touch-a-Truck is an event that is being put on, of course, by us, the city, but it's an opportunity for the community to come out and really connect with the different departments that we have. So you will find the police department, the fire department, as well as the public works will bring their vehicles out, and we will have them in the parking lot where we had trunk or treat last year. So that's the space that's in between Chase Bank and what I call Burger King, that big lot that's in there.
Okay.
And they just have the opportunity to come out to see the equipment that we have, what we use as a city, what helps to protect them, what helps to, for fire suppression and EMS, of course, the police cars, and like I said, a lot of the public works vehicles. So they will be able to see all of those things and just come out and connect with the with the workers that'll be out there as well.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
sorry, I realized I forgot the address for the 513 relief bus. That'll be at 6700 Hamilton Avenue. That is
Which is the Hair Palace.
Yes, the Hair Palace, and some of them I know it as the old Save-A-Lot.
Or if you're much older, Walgreens.
Yes. Not much older, only 22 years older.
What? Mr. President.
Ms. DeWald?
Mr. Mosby, I have one question for you. When you spoke about, let me find my notes, the new businesses, the charter school, and you said it's across from Dollar Tree, which is not in yet. So was there another location?
Oh, I think I said Dollar General, but if I did say Dollar Tree, I apologize. I meant
The Dollar
Dollar
General.
General.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
what I
on
thought,
Hamilton
yeah.
Avenue.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
he meant.
Thank you.
Apartment building across from Hollywood.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Nichols.
if I may, I can forward this, that agreement to council if they would like to see it between the school district and the city. But the park was 20 years. 10 years was property, if I'm not mistaken. But the park is 20 years.
So we were both right.
And in that, yeah. And in that agreement, it does state that the school, that we have to maintain the grounds. They only maintain what they put on the park. So you'll read it in there, but I'll send it out to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. She was talking to you.
Oh, you're fine.
Could you send me a copy of that too?
All right. Moving on to the Law Director's report. The Law Director is not with us this evening. Next on the agenda would be the Finance Director's report. Finance Director is not present this evening, so that'll take us to call of members. Ms. Dukes-Dean.
I'd just like to say thank you to Ms. Hartman. It's been a pleasure working with her, and sorry to see you go. That's it.
Ms. Blythe.
Also like to say thank you to Ms. Hartman for her service, and my comments were just on the CIC, and thank you to the mayor and Mr. Mosby for filling me in. I didn't get all the notes, but I got most of them. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to say also thank you to Ms. Hartman. She actually has been the voice of reason, and there are times when I would call her and she would, what I call, talk me down off the ledge. So she is very, she's done a very good job for North College Hill. I think it was really a benefit having her here and having her participate. Thank you so much this was definitely a labor of love, especially when you have little kids. So thank you so much for giving of yourself and of your time. I know that I appreciate it, and I'm sure that others would appreciate if they knew everything that you did. So thank you very much for that. And also I would like to say that I'm very excited that my office have moved in, and my office is now located in North College Hill.
Wow.
That is all.
Congratulations. Thank you. Ms. Zorb.
So I want to say goodbye to my bench buddy. And not only is the city losing a great council member, but a great citizen. So I'm sorry to see you and your family leave. I know. That's all I have.
Ms. Hartman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, it's going to be difficult to go, but I will not be a stranger, I promise. And thank you, everyone, for the kind words. And you will see me passing by doing something. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hartman. Ms. Anderson.
Yes, just to echo everybody else, you will be missed. And thank you so much for all that you've done. Like Ms. Zorb said, I mean, you've been a great councilwoman, definitely a voice of reason, so thank you. And And then I have my list of events that I want to make sure get mentioned. This week on Thursday, so 3 days from now. Yes, let me double check that I'm saying this right. Yes, Thursday, September 23rd from 5 to 8 is Discover Clover Nook. I am really excited. I want to see what the Clover Nook Center for the Blind's got for us. And I'm super excited that they're branching out to the community and having events like that. I think that's pretty great. And then, like I said, the 513 Relief Bus, September 28th from 4 to 6 in the Hair Palace parking lot. And then, of course, Touch a Truck, which is already mentioned, October 3rd from 5 to 7. But just wanted to remind all those dates. We got a lot coming up. That's exciting. So I want to make sure people know about it. But that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Mr. President,
Ms.
I'm
Nichols?
sorry. Two things. I believe I had that in here as well, but I didn't mention it because you had the RSVP for that Clover Nook. So the RSVP deadline is tomorrow. I believe what's tomorrow, the 21st? You have to RSVP by tomorrow.
How do you RSVP?
Kim, I can't see, Krell at her email if you want to see that later, or you can call her telephone number, but you have to RSVP by tomorrow. And Ms. Hartman, we said our goodbyes when you came to the school. We appreciate your service, and we talked about, come back. We still need you here.
Okay.
And best of luck to you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is remarks from the audience. And we do have representatives from Community Planning Insights and Urban Fast Forward here with us tonight, but I would say we probably can defer till we get to the vote.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I see no one else, so we'll move on to legislation.
We have a first reading on Resolution 26, 2021, a resolution to certify assessment to the county auditor for placement on a tax duplicate, and this is in regards to tall grass and trash removal. We have a first reading on Resolution 27, 2021, accepting amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Mr. President,
Mr. Mosby.
so this is the legislation that is accepting the amounts and rates for the 2022 tax budget, or the expected revenues, anticipated revenues that we expect to receive for 2022.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I just have a question for Mr. Mosby. Did you say that this is due, we need to have this turned in by October 20th, is that correct?
Yes, it's due to the county by October 20th.
Okay. Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we suspend the second and third readings for Resolution 27-2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Underwood, second from Ms. Anderson to suspend second and third readings on Resolution 27, 2021. Discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
so I guess I'm confused yet again. We just heard from the administrator that it's not due for a month. Why are we suspending 2 readings? I just don't see the logic in this. I failed to see it.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mosby?
So, Mr. Orb, the reason that, well, I can't speak for the reason that they made the motion, but I would say that, again, these are amounts that have already been approved by council. So while this is simply a formality, the sooner that we can get it to the county, the better. We can have the item disposed of, basically, so that we can move on to our other business, which, of course, is going to be to make sure that we begin to get the appropriations for 2022 done. In other words, the expense budget. So if you were to ask me, that would be the reason for us to, or for council to suspend the readings and pass the legislation.
All right, motion for Ms. Underwood, second for Ms. Anderson to suspend second and third readings for Resolution 27-2021. Please call the roll.
Ms. Jukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Orb?
No.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
We have a vote of 5-1, so that doesn't pass for suspension. Is that correct?
Correct. Need 6.
Motion to suspend fails. Oops.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'm not sure if this could be done, but could we move to suspend one reading? Since her motion was suspend 2, and we move to
the next meeting.
What?
We can suspend third reading at the next meeting.
Okay.
We have a, I lost my place.
First reading for
28.
Resolution 28.
First reading Resolution 28, 2021, making supplemental appropriation and transfers. Excuse me.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'm looking at the bottom of the document, and I'm assuming that that is a typo at the bottom of the document. It says past this 21st day of December 2020.
I'm sorry, say that again?
At the bottom of the document, it says past this 21st day of December 2020.
I believe that where you are seeing that, it was referring to a document.
It was referring to the
Correct,
the December document where it was passed in 2020.
correct.
This,
So that's referring to the date that the American Rescue Plan Act was passed?
No, it's actually,
it's that top line there.
right. So where it says the first whereas, is that what you're referring to, Ms. Underwood?
No, at the bottom,
At the very bottom.
where it says past this 21st day
Oh,
of December
okay.
2020.
Okay.
And then right underneath that, it has Mayor Tracy Nichols.
Right.
It looks
That-
like,
That would be a typo.
okay.
She's talking about that. She's talking about right here. No, that refers, no, this one is referring to the legislation. She was talking about this, which is section 3, which, that would be, that would be the.
When I saw that, I thought it
Oh, okay,
corrected that.
okay. No, that, you are correct, Ms. Underwood, I apologize, that is a typo.
And I also have another question, Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Underwood.
So even though this says making supplemental appropriations and transfers, this is really us accepting the money from the American Rescue Plan Act,
That is
correct?
correct, that's why you do not see any amounts under the appropriations, because we have not amended or changed any expense appropriations.
And if this does not pass, then we
Well, I guess
can't take the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, if for some reason it doesn't pass, we would have to give the money back.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move to suspend the second and third reading of Resolution 28-2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Underwood with a second by Ms. Anderson to suspend second and third readings of Resolution 28-2021. Ms. DeWald, call the roll when you're ready.
I apologize to council. I was in a short meeting with the mayor. Would you please tell me we have suspended second and third?
Yes, I have a motion to suspend second and third readings for Resolution 28-2021. Motion by Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Anderson.
Thank you. Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
No.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to suspend fails by a vote of 5-1.
Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols?
I'm not sure if council wants to amend that piece of legislation now, or if they would like to wait to the next reading to remove the date of December 20th, December 21st, 2021, to strike that out, or if they would just like a new piece presented to them at the next meeting.
Wait till the next meeting. Okay, move on to the next legislation.
I'll need some clarification on that Resolution 28. Are we going to have a corrected version for the next meeting, or just strike this out?
You can't correct it. You can't correct it on your own. It has to come from council at this point.
That's why I'm asking.
Right.
So I can't do anything on my own. We all know that it's not correct, so what is council's pleasure on this?
Since we're gonna, I guess, vote on it again or pass it up again, I would just correct it and bring it to the next meeting.
No,
That's
she
my
can't.
opinion.
That's the,
What?
she can't. She has to do it only when we tell her to. So if we want to correct it, it's a motion.
Oh, okay, so we can't do it after the fact, agree that it's corrected. Oh, okay.
Let them at the next meeting, if they so choose.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'm not dealing.
I'll make a motion that we amend Resolution 28, 2021 in Section 3 to remove the day of 21 and the month of December and the year of 2020, and just have blanks there.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson, to amend Resolution 2821 in Section 3 by removing the day 21, the month December, and the year 2020, and replace it with blanks. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
And Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to amend passes 6-0. We have a third reading on Resolution 20, a resolution to certify assessment to the county auditor for placement on the tax duplicate. This is regarding vacant foreclosed properties and failure to register.
We have a third reading. We need a motion.
Excuse me, Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2021.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Hartman, to adopt Resolution 2021. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to adopt passes 6-0. We have a third reading on Resolution 21, a resolution to certify assessments to the county auditor for placement on the tax duplicate. This is in regards to tall grass and trash removal.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I will make a motion that we adopt Resolution 21, 2021. Actually, my agenda says.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion for Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Hartman to adopt Resolution 21, 2021. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Before we get to the next two here, I was thinking that we could give, so in regards to the comprehensive plan, giving Urban Fast Forward and Community Planning Insights each 5 minutes to address council. If we had any final questions, I would allow limited questions, but and we've had a lot of discussion about this, but I do want to give, they've come out tonight, so I want to give them one opportunity. So if I'm looking, Resolution 23 is Urban Fast Forward, so I would give you 5 minutes first. If you would please go to the lectern, introduce yourselves. I'm going to start a clock here.
Thank you. I'm Kathleen Norris. I think we've seen each other many times before by now. And my colleague Jeff Racer, who is the principal of CUDA Studios. And I might take the first 3 minutes by asking you if you have any questions. Ms. Zorb, you're giving me a look there?
I had a mouthful of water. I apologize. I do not.
Anyone? Ms. Dukestein?
I have none.
Ms. Blythe? Ms. Underwood?
I'm good.
Okay. Ms. Hartman, we're going to miss you. Ms. Anderson?
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay, then I will just cover a few of the things that might be most relevant here. We really would love to work with North College Hill. I'm going to start with that. I have said to you before that I grew up on this side of town. I really believe in these hilltop communities, but even more, Urban Fast Forward believes in this type of community. This is where we do all of our work. And Mr. Mosby was a little bit hesitant tonight in his enthusiasm, which surprised me because I heard him say that you have had a windfall of almost $1 million tonight from the SORTA money and the ARPA money, and no community deserves it more. And I would love to see North College Hill get the prominence of position and the momentum that it deserves. We work very specifically to uncover the unique personality of a community. We have done that all through this region. We work very widely, as I think that our credentials demonstrate. Mr. Mosby commented on social connectivity. That was in our proposal because we believe that's very, very important, that a community build those internal connections because that is the source of your strength. You can't bring strength from the outside. You have to build it from the inside. And we are very good at helping a community do that. And we are also very practical. Our plans do not come with a whole list of unachievable objectives. They come with a clear, practical analysis of the community and a step-by-step roadmap into the future. And that's the way that we like to work. We work. I remember Ms. Zorb commenting that she didn't think we could get engagement. I would welcome the chance to prove you wrong, ma'am, because usually we are able to get that engagement, and we work very hard to get it. We will go door to door. We will be on your streets and in your community. We will not just have formal meetings. We will try very hard to get to know your citizens because they are the backbone of your community. So, technical points. We are the only woman-owned commercial real estate and planning firm in the region. So we help you with your WBE objectives, but I'm also very proud of that. We have a unique capability in that we combine planning with real estate. So we are very able to bring an analysis of concrete real estate solutions. And we believe that it is our job to help you build the North College Hill of tomorrow. Jeff?
Kathleen.
Got about a minute and a half.
Kathleen said it very, very well. We do pride ourselves on community engagement. We figured out during a pandemic how to do it, not on one project or two projects, but actually 3 projects. We're running community engagement through the pandemic on 3 different projects.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, right. Avoid it if you can. But we'll get it done. We will get it done. What Kathleen said about social connectivity, just as a highlight, that was one of the things that was a bullet point in your RFP to us. And if you remember our proposal, what you asked for was in black, and we're going to do that. But what we added was in red. And one of the things we added was we expanded upon the things that were just a bullet point in your RFP, and that was one of them. So if you look through our proposal, you'll see we really invested a lot of time in thinking about what is College Hill and what does College Hill want to be, and how do we attack it? How do we get to the ears and the talking from the people of this community, both the residents and the business.
There's nothing boilerplate about our work. Honestly, it would be easier if there were. It would be easier if we could pull something off a shelf, change the names, insert North College Hill, change a few criteria, and keep moving. That's not the way we work. We work on the ground, from the bottom up, with the people to discover the unique personality of the community in which we are present. And we would love to do that for North College Hill.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Aaron Sorrell. I am Community Planning Insights. Just wanted to thank you again for this opportunity. I think you've heard a lot from both firms about our capabilities, our teams, what we bring to the project, and how we can assist the residents and the stakeholders of North College Hill to move forward. I guess, do you have any questions about our team or our proposal? Nope. Okay. Just in summary, again, I'm not going to take the 5 minutes. We bring a team of local, regional, and national footprints. I am a small planning firm, been in the business for about 22 years. Also on the team is a local architecture firm, that one of the largest African American owned firms in the country, Moody Nolan, along with Lord Sargent out of Louisville, who also has a national footprint. So we can bring to bear hundreds of personnel resources to North College Hill to address any issue that may arise as we work through the planning process. So again, thank you for this opportunity. We're really excited if we get the chance to work with you, stakeholders, the administration, and the residents of North College Hill.
Thank you, sir. Ms. DeWald, please continue with legislation.
We have a first reading on Resolution 23, 2021.
It's a third reading.
I'm sorry, a third reading. Thank you. A comprehensive plan with urban fast forward.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we adopt Resolution 23-2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I second that motion.
I have a motion from Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Anderson, to adopt Resolution 23-2021. Discussion? Sorry, I'm having a spelling problem here. Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
No.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
and Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to adopt Resolution 23 passes 6-1. I'm sorry, 5-1. Wow. It's too hot in here. We have a third reading on Resolution 24, 2021, Comprehensive Plan for Community Planning Insights.
Mr. President, just
Yes.
point of order. I mean, what do we do with this resolution?
I believe we need to vote it down.
All right.
Okay.
That means I need a motion.
Okay, Mr. President,
Yes.
I move that we adopt Resolution 24-2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
Motion for Ms. Underwood. Second by Ms. Anderson to adopt this resolution. Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukes Dean,
No.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
No.
Ms. Zorb,
No.
Ms. Hartman,
No.
Ms. Anderson.
No.
Motion to adopt fails, 5-1.
All right, thank you. I do want to point out that both of these teams presented us with very good plans for us to review. They were very, here, answering questions, taking the time to meet with us. So we do want to make sure that we thank each of you for coming out and doing this.
I agree, Mr. President.
Ms. Underwood?
I would just like to say thank you to both teams, especially, you came to extra meetings and answered all of our questions, and it was very difficult to kind of make the choice.
Yes.
It's,
Oh my gosh, yes.
I went back and forth a lot. So I just wanted you to know that it was a very difficult decision. But thank you so much for caring about our community the way that we do and putting together the proposals that you put together for us.
And I think I speak for our colleagues in saying we appreciate the thoughtfulness that you brought to this. It's really perfect.
All right, thank you. Ms. DeWald, please continue with legislation.
We have a third reading on Resolution 25, 2021. This is a resolution to certify assessments to the county auditor for placements on the tax duplicate regarding tall grass and trash removal.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution 25, 2021.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second.
Motion for Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood to adopt Resolution 25-2021. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukes Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to adopt passes 6-0.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is further remarks from the audience. Our audience has not changed, so we will move on to old business.
Wait a minute. Erica.
Does anyone have any old business?
I just want to, Mr. President,
Ms. Dukes-Dean?
I'd just like to take this time to say thank you very much. It was a very, very difficult decision for me personally. Constantly went back and forth, read through things. So thank you for your time and just your questions and answering questions and bearing with our constant turning over. So thank you. That's all for me.
Any old business? Hearing none, we'll move to new business.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Underwood.
at the risk of causing a riot, I think that we should buy the mulch It's $5,000. And seriously, you know, the kids are going to the playground to play on the playgrounds, and it's $5,000 for all of the parks. I think we should just buy the mulch. I mean, seriously, we shouldn't be fighting over who owns the park. And I believe that the school district repaired the park equipment, which is significantly more expensive than the mulch. I don't know. I can get my girls and we can go out there and spread some mulch around if we need be, but I'm just saying, I think that we should buy the mulch.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I would like to agree with that. And I think when we do buy the mulch, please buy the mulch, we need to go a little bit above what we're being asked to do. I mean, the recommendation that I got was the bare minimum. We're talking about children and wanting them to be safe. So we want to do our best. It's not going to cost us much. It's $5,000. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, Mr. President.
Ms. Underwood?
Sorry, I don't want to sound mean here, but, you know, we had a meeting with somebody who already spends half of our budget, asking them how they wanted to spend even more money that we were being given. I think we should just buy the mulch. I think that we can buy the mulch.
Are you making a motion?
Oh, yes.
You keep saying we should buy the mulch.
I move that the city manager purchases the mulch, however much, you know, for the parks located in the city of North College Hill.
Owned by?
All right, so let me get this. So you're making a motion to authorize the city manager to purchase, and can we clarify this? We want wood chips, not mulch. Mulch has other things in it that you don't want to play around in. Am I correct on that?
Wood chips.
It's actually wood chips, or wood shavings, but it's not.
Are we talking the rubber
sorry.
stuff or the wood?
The wood.
Mr. President,
So what are we talking about here?
Mr. Cole, the Public Works Director, he also described or mentioned the type of mulch that's needed for the parks. I'm sure that's what Ms. Dukestein looked at. So the mulch that they're buying is mulch that you should use for kiddies in parks. I don't know if it's wood chip or whatever. I did read it. I can't remember, but it's
I'm
kid
trying to
safe
make sure we're
mulch.
clear.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
it is wood chips, but because it's coming from mulching companies, they refer to it as mulch, but it is minus the chemicals. So you're accurate in your description, but they do refer to it as mulch.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
Safety mulch.
so I'm assuming that Ms. Underwood also has the line item that she's going to appropriate that money from when she makes that?
I have no, Mr. President,
And then secondly,
no
is
idea.
is there a reason we're rushing this tonight? And I'm only asking, I'm not resistant to mulch. I'm resistant to jumping into something that we don't have all the data for. So because I would prefer to have the rubber mulch that is much softer, it lasts longer. So I'd like to investigate that. Can we talk about this in recreation?
Mr.
There was a
President.
reason why they couldn't do the rubber mulch.
Ms.
Mr.
Dukestein?
So I did the research on the rubber mulch, and so they were making it with old tires, which is actually much more toxic. And since COVID, and to actually make or to get mulch with a rubber mulch, without it, it is like quadruple the price. And so, and they're finding that if you're going to do something like that, it's better to do the turf. And to speak to your timing issue, currently the playgrounds are not safe. We need to do something ASAP because children are playing on them, not safe. So that's the timing.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I think there's a motion on the floor, and if there is,
There
I'll
is.
second it.
All All right, we have a motion to authorize the city manager to purchase mulch for all the parks, and I believe, is that to say not to exceed $5,000? Did I
Yes.
get that correct?
Do 6, it's a little over 5.
Yeah,
Oh, it's over 5? So,
So if we do 6, Ms. Dukestein.
Are we giving him a line item to take it from?
I do not have a line item to take it from, no.
Need to be signed.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
maybe somebody in administration can help me out. I remember, like, last time we were talking about this at the UPC meeting, there was talks about there being money under the Public Works line item that we could possibly put this under. Did anybody look in, I didn't personally look into that, but did anybody else happen to investigate that?
Must be a line item for parks.
I think that basically what I was saying was that although they are parks, some of that could be used or could come from Public Works since it is a public property in that sense. But I would say that Ms. Zorb would be correct in terms of saying if you're directing me to make a purchase, then you would also have to give a
right.
direction of an appropriation of where the money is going to come from.
We can do that at the next meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
is there a recommendation that you would give to us for a line item that we could put it under?
Mr. President, I have a
Ms.
question,
Underwood?
just in general. So if we get sued by some child who gets injured at a park, where's that money come from?
The insurance company?
Litigation, you mean? Well, our properties are insured. All of our properties are insured. But the litigation would have to come out of pocket.
Money from our general funds, maybe.
So out of pocket means from what line item?
Well, we would probably take it from, we have our legal, or if it exceeded that, we would have to just say to council, this is what the bill is coming to, and council would have to make a decision.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I withdraw my motion.
Mr. President,
Dukestein?
so, if I may address Mr. Mosby. Mr. Mosby, I'm sorry, what did you say when Ms. Anderson asked if you could recommend a line item?
She was asking if some of it could come from Public Works, I said.
No, I asked if you could recommend a line item.
Oh, I apologize. Off the top of my head, I don't, for several reasons. I would need to go back and look at it. I could certainly make a recommendation for the next meeting. That's the case.
Mr. President,
Sounds good.
Ms. Anderson?
I motion that administration look over the budget and suggest and recommend a line item for council to put the mulch on.
I second that motion.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God, it's so hot.
All right, so let me see if I got this motion for administration to recommend a budget line item for the mulch purchase for the parks.
Thank you.
Motion was made by Ms. Anderson. Second was Ms. Dukestein.
Yes.
Any discussion? Ms. DeWald, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
and Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to get a line item, budget line item passes 6-0.
Thank you. As far as new business, so we do have on our calendar that committee meetings for October, the first set of committee meetings, which is Finance and Recreation, Community Development, are currently scheduled for 10/12, which is a Tuesday.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
if everybody's okay with us just moving it back to Indigenous People Recognition Day on October 11th at the same times that they would normally be at, I'll motion to move them to that date at that time.
Nobody's saying no, so are you making a motion?
Yes.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Zorb, to move the committee meetings on the second Tuesday, or the second, currently scheduled for the second Tuesday, which is 10/12, back to October 11th, as that is not a city holiday. Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
No.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to go back to the 11th passes 5-1.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Sorry. I'll
sorry.
withdraw my motion. That's just really hot. Sorry.
Mr. President, at the risk of really being a sport, I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss salary and compensation of employees.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
All right. So your motion is to go to executive session to discuss compensation of a public employee. Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Wait, Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
never mind. No, you can just call the roll, I'm sorry.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Underwood?
No.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Said no.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
I think you can.
Ms.
change your
Anderson?
vote.
Yes.
Motion passes with a vote of 5-1.
Okay, we'll go into executive session.
Jeff? I didn't
Make a motion that we reconvene from executive session.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
All right, motion from Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson to reconvene our council meeting. Please call the roll.
Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to reconvene passes 6-0.
Mr. President. Okay, sorry.
Oh. Mr. President,
Ms. Hartman?
I motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion, regretfully, Ms. Hartman's last, to adjourn with a second by Ms. Anderson. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
so if we all vote no, then does that
She can't
mean
leave?
She can't leave.
I was really wondering where she was going with that.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn passes 6-0.
Thank you, Ms. Hartman, and this meeting is adjourned.